Hey everyone, for this set of videos I'll be talking about how to get commissions. In part 1, I detailed my own personal journey as a freelance artist up to this point. Today, by popular vote, I'll be going through a step-by-step process on how you can go about getting your own commissions and being a freelance artist. While I do, I'll be showing you the coloring process for the Moosey line art I did in part 1. If you'd like to see the lines or final piece, the link is in the description. You can also find the link to the character's creator, Blasbros. Please be sure to check him out and subscribe to his Patreon. He makes some really neat characters and deserves all of your love. So, without further ado, let's move on to step 1, which is practice. In the last video, I mentioned that a big part of the reason I didn't get commissions for a long time was because I wasn't good enough. I took a step back and looked at my own artwork objectively and decided that if I was looking to pay for art, I wouldn't buy mine. This was actually a really important realization to my growth, and I'm so much better for it. I don't want to go for the age-old saying practice makes perfect here because, to be honest, there is no such thing as a perfect artist. If you're doing art, you are always learning and always striving to improve. So, how do I properly practice, you ask? Well, there's a lot of different ways, and honestly, detailing them all will detract from this video, so I'm just going to do a quick overview. First, always practice with a purpose. Don't tune out when you're practicing. If you're trying to improve, you need to be actively seeking to do so. Second, seek knowledge. Do life and photo studies, watch videos, and read tutorials. Just remember to apply what you've learned when you put pen to paper, or whatever medium that you use. Third, get feedback. Post to forums, art sites, or even your Facebook page and ask for critiques. Then, apply the things that people say that make sense to your next piece. Another thing that isn't as important until you start getting commissions, but will definitely help you when you do, is to time your pieces. This will give you a bit of a gauge for your prices for customers for later on. And speaking of feedback, let's move on to step 2, making yourself visible. Remember how I mentioned that a lot of people I get commissions from were people I knew on Facebook? If I hadn't bothered posting my art and making myself visible, those people likely wouldn't even know that I'm an artist. Does this mean that you'll find every one of your customers on Facebook? Absolutely not. But the more places you post, the more people will see. A lot of people use DeviantArt for Affinity, Pixiv, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, and plenty of other sites. However, there is a method for being successful on these kinds of sites. First, each of these sites has a system set in place where people of like minds can enjoy like things. Facebook and DeviantArt have groups, Twitter and Tumblr have special tag systems, and so on and so forth. These can very easily be used advantageously to promote your art, but you have to remember to do it without being disrespectful. Keep in mind that each piece you do will have a niche group that enjoys it. One of the best things you can do is find these groups, especially on Facebook, and casually advertise to them by posting the piece that you did and writing something like, "If you enjoyed that, check out my page," or "I'm open for commissions, I could draw your character next." You're still giving them something that they enjoy, but advertising in a way that's not going to bother too many people. One thing that a lot of pages will do is comment something relevant on other pages' posts. You're not advertising, but a lot of people will click on your page just because it exists. This one isn't usually too offensive as long as you make sure you're not shamelessly plugging. No one likes it when a page comments on another page's post with nothing but an advertisement. It's also a good way to get your page blocked on that particular page. Also, if you're posting to DeviantArt, please note that it's super important that you submit your art to groups. The more groups, the better. If you look at any of my pieces on DeviantArt, you'll see each piece is in anywhere from 20 to 100 groups, and generally the number of groups directly correlates to how many favorites the piece has. This is because it increases visibility. Even if just one new person is in each group, that's up to 100 extra people that see that piece. That gives you 100 more people that might see your piece and go, "Hey, I really want this artist to draw this one thing," and then ta-da! You have a commissioner that you would not have had otherwise. Also, with social media nowadays, if you're looking to be a freelance artist, portfolios aren't nearly as important as they were a few years ago. However, they do help give you a professional polish that some customers could be looking for. Just remember that if you're submitting it to a company, look at the other artwork for the company and tailor your portfolio specifically to them. It will increase your chances exponentially. Now that people know who you are, it's time for step 3, which is search and advertise. Now, some people will eventually start to come to you for freelance work when you hit a certain level in your art. However, it will generally be a while before work just starts falling into your lap, so to speak, if it ever does, so don't bank on it. Instead, you need to be searching and advertising. By searching, I mean going out of your way to find work. Last video, I talked a little bit about how to go about this all wrong with a few key points on how to do it right. As before, I've got the link to commissions.com in the description because your character here commissions are honestly such a great way to find semi-constant work. You can also search for keywords in the DeviantArt journal posts, Facebook search bar, or Tumblr and Twitter tags, or look into commission websites. How you go about finding work is honestly a completely different experience for each type of artist. However, if you're looking to work for any sort of company, the process is a little simpler. First, make sure that you have your portfolio set up before you even start. Then, if you go to that company's website, you'll usually see either a Contact Us or an employment button or something else like that. This will usually send you to a page that prompts you to email the company. In most cases, I would suggest sending an email with a well-written cover letter, a link to your portfolio, and at least one piece attached so that they have a good taste of what your art looks like without having to click on any links. You can also start by asking the art director via email exactly what they would like to see. However, this particular set of stuff is really only based on things I've been told by successful artists in that field because I haven't really applied that information for myself. On the other hand, advertising can be as simple as posting that you're open for commissions and telling people to message you for prices, or as detailed as making a post with your general prices, process, and examples. If you do the latter, you can actually cut out a lot of extra work by linking that to people looking to commission you before you ever talk to them about pricing. And since it's already written down, I've noticed people tend to try to haggle less. Speaking of which, let's talk about step 4, planning and pricing. Keep in mind that you want to make sure people know that the prices vary based on the time it'll take to do whatever you're asking. If they want one character with a billion belts, pockets, and accessories, you'll bet your bottom dollar that I'll be charging more than I would for one character with a tank top and shorts. Remember how I said to time yourself before? This is where it becomes important. Not only can you give a really good estimate on how long you'll take to finish a piece for a customer, you'll also be able to price your work accordingly. It really frustrates me when I see people do masterpieces for customers that take at least 10 hours to make for anything less than $100. I mean, think about it. If you spend 10 hours and only get $50, you're getting paid less than minimum wage for your hard work and experience. You took years practicing this skill. Don't let people make you think your work is worth less than it is just because they don't understand the dedication that went into honing your craft. I like to give myself $10 per hour and add an extra hour in case I'm a little off on my estimates. This means if I think a character concept will only take me 2 hours, I charge $30. If I think I'm going to take 20 hours on an illustration, I charge $210. As I get better, I'll eventually increase these prices, but I like this as a general rule for now. And of course, when all is said and done, we have to move on to step 5, making a satisfied customer. This last step is super important. As I mentioned in the last video, a lot of your customers will likely return to commission you again and again, as long as you're respectful and do good work. This means planning out a schedule and sticking to it, giving several process shots and giving them plenty of opportunity for input. Offer extras like the PSD or a recording of your process. A lot of times, I also offer my line art. When you finish, make sure you follow up with them and ask if there's anything that can make the piece a little bit better. If they say that there is, take it to heart and try to accommodate them if it's reasonable. This is actually a step I'm still working on, and it's a lot more difficult than it sounds. Remember that every commission is an opportunity to learn, so do what you can to make the most of it. I hope this video helped, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. If you'd like to vote on future subjects for these videos, you can check out my DeviantArt, which I've linked below. Also below is a link to my Patreon. Supporting me will help continue making videos like this. It'll also land you some pretty neat rewards like PSD files, exclusive line arts, and in-depth videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please thumbs up if you liked the video and thumbs down if you didn't. Also, I'd love it if you subscribed. That's all I've got for today, so enjoy the last bit of my process and I'll see you at the next video.